and he's got ideas about blasting into position. And is this possible? I'm seeing the move h6. I feel just shivers when I see a move like this, the king exposed on this side, and the engines are now coming around saying this is death. The move e5 should win the game. And we mean win the game. This h6 pawn is a terrible square for it to be on. Whatever you do in the middle, let's just start with this move. Queen h5 is coming, and immediately a threat. We realize why this pawn, putting it on h6, is a target. I mean, just seeing it made me feel weird when somebody's trying to attack my king and I'm going to move the pawn right around it. So all Wesley has to do is hit with e5. If captures, captures, and then knight h7, then here comes this move, queen g4. g6 no longer is on tap as queen f4, hitting the h6 pawn, the target, and the pawn on f7 as well. Thank you very much for giving us everything we could possibly want. Guys, this move h6 is just begging, like literally begging the guy to kill you.
It looks like 11.
I mean, I would kind of have considered
and there it is.
And there it is, e5 on the board.
But h6 is such a weird move. It actually doesn't improve your position. It just
I don't get. I just when I saw rook g3 appear, I'm trying to figure out what should you do. This attack is coming, but h6 you see, you go, that's not what I would have thought.
Yeah, h6 is a little bit crazy.
So weird to make this move. You just add a weakness in the position. Now with no fear, e5 on the board. We've seen him in trouble. This Ukrainian superstar Anton Korobov. This one, he got out of it in game one. This one, I don't know. Wesley So looking like he's got his game face on right now. I mean, trying to blow his opponent off the board.
He just has a free attack.
Just free.
It's just completely free. There's no squares for the black pieces, and it's a big problem. And he immediately takes on e5, which is the natural thing because you don't want to allow this kind of tricks where white takes on d6 and the bishop on b2 is released. But on the other hand, you're releasing the rook on f1 to attack this pawn on f7. And I think that tactically just does not hold for black. Also, nobody puts the knight on h7. Like,
that was the point of h6, is to put the knight on h7. But when you see the knight on h7, you say, what's your knight doing on h7?
I think when you make a move like h6, with the idea of knight h7, at some point you kind of mentally check, what was I thinking?
Yes.
Because really, knight h7?
This is not the art of defense for sure. Queen g4 right now is a big time move.
Oh, what's wrong with queen h5?
Straightforward. Well, because queen g4 is just so sweet.
Yeah, but queen h5 is a double attack, right? Because I attack f7 and I attack h6.
Yeah, good point, actually.
I mean, that's the immediate version of what you were showing me, right?
And knight g5 doesn't help.
Knight g5, I have h4.
Yeah.
So that just kicks out your knight. That doesn't help you at all. I mean, I look at the position and queen h5 is my first thought.
What does he have for queen h5?
Because that is a very simple double attack. And I'm
there it is.
Yeah. I'm sure the computer says queen g4 is better, but queen h5 to me looks like the way to go. Just seems easy. I don't have to calculate anything.
They have a similar principle, right? Double attack.
They're both
right. The other one is kind of a roundabout way because you force g6 and then the queen double attacks. But when you're a human, you just want to take the pawn. It's an important one anyway because it's defending the king.
Yeah, I think the thing with g6 is g6 weakens that side even more, and you just crack his position.
Yeah.
So queen h5 is the natural move.
Right.
Like you said, the human in us will guarantee to play. But to force the move g6 and then make sure your whole position collapses as you keep weakening the side is what made the engine say, we got an even better move to kill you with. So this though, if you played h6 and saw e5, take, knight h7, queen h5, you say, I'm not playing h6.
Yeah, this is very
completely insane. Open up the side, put your knight there, and then hope that the guy's not going to be able to attack you when all the pieces, the major pieces, are sitting there. His only hope somehow is that his rook gets to d2 and he mixes that up with some counterplay if he only loses a pawn.
That's a very strange position.
Strange is one word. I think you mean it's a killer position.
Yeah, Wesley looking like he's soaring towards even score. Wouldn't it be happy about that at the start of the tournament, but at the start of the day? That sounds pretty sweet. And we have Christian chiming in from Romania.
See that he has managed to take on f7.
Yeah, bishop g5 was played after this queen h5 move.
Yeah, there's a couple of tactics that we have to show because after bishop g5, it seems like anything white plays wins, but it's actually not so easy. H4 is incredibly tempting, but it runs into g6, and then this is an important tempo because after queen g4, I don't retreat and allow queen f4. Instead, I play h5 first, and I safeguard the pawn from this position, then I move my bishop out, and you won't have that double attack anymore. Instead, in this position, I think Wesley took on f7, and there's already a lot of weird stuff going in this position. You can even consider the move rook d2 to start harassing White's pieces, but there's a few ways of winning in this position. Even the move rook c7 I thought was actually winning. Actually, it's actually losing. I don't know how. But rook d2 might be a little bit too much. h4 is in the works, rook g7 is in the works. Rook f8 was played by Korobov, and that actually poses some interesting questions, because if you take on f8 and you take on f8, immediately there is the threat of rook f1 checkmate, and you may be wondering why not just expel the bishop with a tempo, where, well, the problem is that after rook f1, king h2, this comes as a very annoying move, bishop f4, and suddenly the tables have turned. So you have to be a little bit careful here as White. The game is far from over.
Now we're seeing the pluses of that queen g4 versus queen h5, that they're tactical ideas, and suddenly the rook takes on f8, knight takes. That knight wanted to get back into the act, and it's done so now. By the way, the Indians preferred rook doubling on f3, rook
gf3, right?
gf3 as being much stronger than rook takes f8, and now knight takes f8, though they preferred rook takes f8 in that position. I want to point out this line, though, you mentioned, just so our viewers can see it. Rook takes f7. It was rook d2, I think you played.
Yeah.
Rook d2, unfortunately, runs right into queen g6.
Okay, just very simple checkmate, right?
Yes, and that rook c7 idea, hitting this piece, rook f8, threatening mate, and your rook is hanging.
Of course.
Tricks in the position that he had to avoid. Rook takes f8, knight takes f8, and now the move bishop a3 is being given, and also rook f3 to try to get back in business, a queen f7 check, so he's still okay.
Well, he's up a pawn more than
he's up a pawn. He's still okay in terms of the tactics, that White can control what's going on. He doesn't have to worry that Black has some chances, even with getting a rook down to d2. This queen f7 check threat is just too strong. So he's controlling that position and keeping his extra pawn. Wesley right now is thinking, I'm going to win this game. That's what he's thinking. He would feel it a disaster if he doesn't win this game. This is a full point he can get and go back to 50% with chances for tomorrow.
And he has played the move bishop a3, which I think is important. It does reduce the activity of a lot of his pieces, of Black's pieces. And if I can dreamlike get a bishop to d6, that would really stop any counterplay from Black.
Oh, no. Guys, this move turns out to be a real inaccuracy because of bishop f4.
But what is the big deal? Bishop f4, rook f3.
And then, what is the deflecting move on the back rank to play here?
There's
Queen
a queen
E4?
e4.
There's a queen e4.
Ouch! That is a tough one.
Yes, indeed. Oh no, the back rank
And E5
is
is
weak.
just E5 is just hanging.
E5 just got hit. What a monster queen move.
We just had two pieces defending d1, and somehow in the last couple of moves, you've dispatched both of them.
Yep. It was something a little loose about the position that you had to be careful for with the back rank, and here it is. Bishop a3 doesn't get the job done. There's a bishop f4 move right now.
So this is the current position, bishop f4, being very, very powerful.
So bishop f4, what about something instead of rook f3?
Your rook's hit.
Yeah.
What are you going to play?
And with rook g4, you have the same thing, huh?
Yeah, rook g4 just puts the rook in a worse place.
Yeah, you can still play.
You can still play queen e4 at the very least, but I would be surprised if there's nothing stronger.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And there's no other good spots for the rook. I mean, rook h3 just.
Well, the rook
doesn't change anything.
Honestly, yes, it does, because queen
now,
e4, I can just take that.
Now you're guarding
e1.
Yeah. He's found bishop f4. Look at that, the chance. Korobov showing why he's such a great rapid player, overtaking Wesley So in the rating. And here it is, rook f3, and now queen e4 is going to come as a complete shock to Wesley.
And he has to play it, because once you play bishop f4 and rook f3, there is no other move.
There it is.
No, has to.
He has to.
I mean, for him, it's not a has to. It's I want to.
Yeah.
This is my plan. And guess what? I just dropped the queen on e4, and I'm threatening all kinds of stuff. There's the mate threat on the back rank. There's the e-pawn that's hanging. You can't touch the queen. You'd be scared you're not going to lose after a move like this one.
Even queen b1 is a threat. But
it was, indeed. Queen b1 is also a threat, and rook f1
quickly
played.
Technically correct. I can just take on e5.
Wesley's got to feel terrible right now. His pawn just dropped off the board.
Yikes.
He's not even better.
He's not even better.
Look at this fighting spirit by these players. Just
Yeah, he's
What a
Never
flip
count him
of
out.
this script.
not even better in this position. I'm crazy. Absolutely crazy.
What a flip.
How's Fabi doing?
And what an opportunity snatched by our wild card. Let's take a look at Fabi.
He's getting face planted, is Karwan.
Back rank problems
Yep.
are recurring.
So I have a couple of questions. Let's just take a look at the analysis board real quick. First of all, why is Bishop H2 bad? There has to be some tactical threat here, right? Bishop, what is the trick?
Well, there's Queen. So you're saying after Queen F7 check?
Queen F7, King
we have-
H7.
We have Knight
What's your
F6,
knight?
right?
Huh?
Yeah, there's a knight,
Knight
F6.
F6.
Knight F6. I'm completely blind. Okay, so that's the point, that Knight H4 actually removes your battery from the F file, and then I can just take on H2 whenever
Well,
I
okay,
want.
so what happens if I? So you're saying if I just go Queen G4 or something after Queen E2?
But how do
No,
you
but Queen
guard?
G4 hard.
I hang that, right?
Knight H4 has been played.
Yeah.
How do you guard your knight? That's the main
Well, if
problem.
Queen G4,
Well, Knight Queen E2, right?
Queen
and
G.
Rook D2?
Rook D2. Oh, that I did not see at all. I thought he was just losing H2, which I was like, oh, that's pretty bad.
No,
Yikes.
that's money.
Oh,
the
that
end.
just
That's
was a
money.
piece.
You're losing a piece.
And what about the other line with Queen G4, Queen E4, Queen H4?
You probably have to, but I mean,
Yeah.
I would be shocked this is not losing. Because, I mean, you have a lot of problems with your back rank. Rook D2 just seems like a very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
that
starting
bishop on A3 looks
A2.
ridiculous.
Oh no!
This is disaster.
And I'd have to.
Well, disaster for who? Korobov is doing great. He's
This is
leading the
disaster
tournament.
for Wesley.
I'd be forced to play what? Queen G4, right?
Two wild cards who are spanking the leaders right now.
I'd be
Or the
forced-
stronger players anyway.
Yeah, the leader is right there, right now,
That's
Anton
right.
Korobov.
And he's taking on E4, and now
Because
it's
that
Rook
rook is
D2,
coming down.
dominant position he has with lots of time on the clock. 10-15. This guy's an amazing, amazing rapid player. No question about it. Queen G4. Now he could take on A2 for starters. That would just be Snap City.
How's H5?
H5 is
H5 is tempting.
H5
H5
Queen
is
F3.
tempting.
Was what?
H5 Queen F3 though. Yeah.
No, but then I take on F3. You have to take with the pawn. I'll take on H2.
Oh, man.
I'll
And
take on
take on
A2.
A2.
Stop.
And there it is, H5.
Oh, pain.
No.
Blood. Stop the crying. Oh my gosh.
But I think you have to because Queen H3, I mean, even Rook F2.
Ah, Queen H3, not a pretty move.
Queen H3 is ugly.
Queen H3, Rook F2, Rook G1.
Are you still holding on? But Rook A2. Everything wins. I mean,
He's
at
got to
this
play
point.
Queen
He's
H3.
playing
He has
Queen
to
Only
play
move.
H3.
Only move. Queen F3 is disaster. So Queen H3 is still in
Wait.
the game. Wait, does he have a penetrating queen?
I'm like trying to win right now, but I think
Yes.
Queen E2 just wins right now.
That's what I'm wondering. Queen
Because
E2 and
of
Rook
Bishop E3 or
D1.
something.
No, Queen E2, Rook G1, Rook D1.
Rook D1. Yeah, Queen E2 and Rook D1 is what
I
I was
just don't
saying.
see a defense here.
How do
there
you?
must be a defense because the computer says
Bishop
there is. But
C5?
Bishop C5. Look at that.
Finally getting
Tricky.
a piece into the game.
Tricky. So let's go back to the
Select
actual
another
position. The simple way, Rook A2. Just take the pawn.
Start taking
Start.
stock.
Start by
Start by
snacking.
taking the pawn.
Okay, but you only get one pawn, right? So.
Bishop
Plus,
one
we
pawn
have
right
it.
now.
Plus the
No, but your
dominating
H, your
position.
H pawn maybe in the future. I get Bishop C5 and bring my bishop back and start hoping against hope.
All right, how do I win immediately? That's what I want to do.
That is the question.
So what did we
are
try? We
missing?
tried Rook F2. I thought, wasn't there something with Queen E2 and Bishop E3? Why wasn't that winning?
Because there's check on E6.
Yeah, that's true.
What if I get the pawn
So,
to
like,
G4?
this is
What
very
is the
important.
deal with
Right,
G5?
right.
What's the deal with G5?
G5 is crazy talk.
Why?
Crazy talk, I tell you.
If I play G4, you lose. So what do? Maybe you attack my rook. Maybe
No, if
play
you attack
rook G1.
if I attack your rook, you're in time to play G4.
So what do you do here? Must be the computer didn't like it, so there must be a move.
Maybe just Rook F2, Rook G1, then Rook A2. Just to weaken
No, but
the
right now I'm
rook.
mating you on G2. I want to mate you. with
Ah,
G4.
right, right.
So what do you do?
Rook G1, yeah. You have to play rook G1
Have to,
here.
yeah. Huh?
But I don't see how G5 helped you because now we'll take on H5.
So that means now I can't break through at all.
I don't see what you do here.
I
actually.
can't
That's
get
flat.
the G4 doesn't get me anywhere because there's no pushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
Korobov seems to be going through the same line of thinking as he is thinking for quite a while, trying to find the right technical solution here. He feels that there should be an easy way.
He does play Queen E2, which, as we saw by the bar, apparently was not the correct way.
it's super tempting though. How do you avoid making this move?
Yeah, it is very tempting. I mean, to me, this was very human. Rook G1. But maybe you
Absolutely
actually do have to
necessary.
take on A2 at some point.
Rook G1.
I mean, he has to
And-
play Rook G1. I put it on the board because he has to play it.
There it is.
And the thing is, after Rook takes A2, Bishop B4, the engine's giving no winning line for black.
It's just a winning endgame, but it's
because
not.
the position's
Right.
just winning clearly, but not. We're just winning like this.
Right. You
In
mean
fact,
like
king
not
of
a forced
7.
win.
He played a pawn move.
That's a funny move. B6 threatening rook D1. That is actually a really funny move.
Because there's no bishop C5
Because
anymore.
there's no bishop C5.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting way, but it is pretty direct.
So note that bishop
I don't see the
C1
defense.
note that bishop
Bishop-
C1 doesn't
bishop to
help. There's
B4. Bishop to
rook
B4.
D1.
But how's bishop B4 help? You have rook D1?
There's a queen F3 coming.
Queen F3. And now, oh, so miraculously there's no back rank checkmate even after rook G1. Rook G1, king G1.
And all the squares are covered.
Bishop E3.
3 here, and
king
everything is
H1,
covered.
and everything
is covered somehow.
unbelievable.
Yeah, the more forcing move, I just wanted to show that checkmate that if you try to play bishop C1,
Where? Here?
if you try to play bishop C1 here, rook D1, and after bishop F4, there's that the sweet back rank.
Back rank is a problem.
Yeah.
That's the main threat. So that's why the bishop has to go to B4 and start guarding everything. And it just turns out, and he's found it. Again, when a strong player, the Aronian principle, when a strong player has only one move to play, he'll find it. It may be a difficult move to see, but if he's aware it's the only move, if he's aware that he's going to die, he'll find the move that saves himself. This line, it was the only way to play, and he's found it with bishop to B4. A little bit of a tenacious defense at the moment. This is the kind of position where you have to be practical, right?
I mean, this has to be some computer stuff, but I don't understand. Rook D3 looks just resignable to me.
Rook to D3.
That looks like a good one. So I'd have to play queen H4.
Yeah,
That's
but
my
queen
only
H4,
move.
bishop B3, you know? Like, if I play rook here and you play queen here, I'll just play the bishop to E3. And then there has to be some perpetual I'm missing.
Actually, you're missing nothing.
Oh, well, that's
The computer
cool.
lied earlier.
Okay, that's cool.
You're missing nothing at all.
And
This is
was
winning.
there queen E4 there though at the end?
No, because you don't have queen H4. I'm just G5.
Oh
just
no,
traps the
I'm
queen.
saying after the moves that. What was the line you were just looking at? After you played bishop E3,
No, I
queen
completely
E4.
blundered. I thought queen H4, bishop E3 was winning, but then I realized it's easier to just
Oh,
win. by-
gotcha.
It's just
okay.
way easier to win with G5, yeah. You
Yeah.
Just win the
So
queen.
in this position,
Yeah.
the point is you have G3.
Rook D3, G3?
Yeah, I know.
No, wow.
I know. What? Okay, but you still have to win the game.
Because now we can't play bishop E3. There's that pesky queen takes D6 check. So this we did see, by the way, rook D3, queen H4.
Queen H4, but okay. That will actually finish the game faster because G5 is just winning the queen.
There it
you go.
is.
And that wins.
Wow!
Korobov is the new leader.
Absolute boss chess he just played. He crushed him.
From a losing position. I'm just going to point that out.
Not by the way, now you didn't want to play queen H5 anymore, right? Because that queen H5 thing started this
Queen
whole
H5 was pretty tempting.
I know, it's tempting, but it causes this whole thing. The guy defended like a genius. This guy shows he's got trickery, cookery, all on his mind. This kind of skullduggery is the word I was looking for to get
Skullduggery.
Yeah, this guy comes up with some stuff. The fact that he saved this position when we saw him play rook G3.
Also,
Wesley
by the
So-
way, guys,
and
you understand the point after Queen E1, right? We really should show that Queen E1
Let's get it on
loses.
the board. Let's get it on the board, and let's also get the players themselves.
Because this is the entire
this
point.
is the point, and it's
This is the
beautiful.
point, right? The rook H3. It is a beautiful
It's
finish.
beautiful. I mean, what he did, he said, you were winning the game, but you know what? Take the spanking.
Is he going to play that on the board, or is Wesley just going to resign right
Wesley
now?
sees rook H3.
Yeah, of course.
Wesley saw it instantly, and he feels the pain of what just happened to him. When you take a position where you are one of the best players on the planet, and you took a pawn from your opponent, you're winning, no question about it, and then about 10 moves later, you're resigning to this kind of spank city. I mean, it's unbelievable. This all started with bishop f4, queen e4, by the way. And he just rolled him. The punishment was fierce.
Well, this is not happy for Wesley So's chances to go to London. It is happy for...
And he is
there
resigned.
it is, resigns.